All right, guys, give you an update on the 66. Haven't done one in just a little bit. Trying to get at least one of these a week. Look at this mess. So yeah, we're in the middle of wiring. I started doing some stuff with the shifters. This little panel right here controls the pad up here. I'll show you in a minute. I just have that plastic cover over it to protect it while I'm doing it. I've got the screen in there, phone thing mounted, this dash thing configured the way I want it now with little black screws. There's this system here that's going in up under this deal that I built up here for the fuse panel and the flashers, and a raised thing because the wires come through there and they stick out the back of the fuse panel. And there's a little control switch right there for the decoder digital dash, which runs a data link off of a Cat5 cable over to this. And then everything hooks into there to run this. And there's electronic sending unit down on the transmission. And then also, you don't need these dash lights, all these little extra wires. This will get interfaced into the steering column for your turn signals. Still got to wire that. And then I've been eliminating wiring. Of course you do, because certain systems you don't need. Like this alternator, I have a single wire alternator. Well, I don't need all these wires that go to that. Now I can use them for other things because this one's like a key on power. This is the exciter wire, and that key on power is a big heavy wire that supplies a good lot of power. So I could use that for something. But with this painless kit, they give you all these accessory wires. These all push power when you turn on a key, and they're all for hooking up different things. So yeah, it's a little bit of a mess, but I got from here back is wired in now. There's the wire hanging for the camera, but the tail lights and all that, and there are LED inserts in there, so they'll light up with little LED lights. And those are done. Everything under here is done up through. This is just hanging here. That'll be separated and eliminated or used depending on what it is. I don't know, I remember what it is, but then there's the dimmer switch and there's the headlight switch. I mean, not headlight, but the ignition. And then there's the headlight. That's in, that's working. And now up here, I got the brakes plumbed in. I haven't bled them yet, but I got fluid in there. Got the power steering in with the hoses, and I got the fluid in there. I built me a little cooler up here for it. And then this is that box that you guys saw, that white panel controls. And what this will do, let me get this line out of the way, because this is the fuel pump line that goes back to the fuel pump. And it'll hook into this relay box right here, and these wires, and goes into this relay box. There's about 6 relays in there that'll control different things as they get interfaced. This is a solid state box that has the fuses. I think I showed you that, guys, when it was opened. I don't know if it'll open or not. And it has solid state relays, fuses, and what'll hook into here from that panel will be these floodlights, this floodlight. It's got the LED headlights in it. Those are on that headlight switch I showed you. And then here's the camera systems. That's the front camera mounted. And then there's a back camera. And over here, we're still running the wires. I got the injector wiring and all that in place. Oops, I don't have a battery on that light. I was going to turn it on. I don't know if you guys can see this very good or not. These wires will be tucked up a little better, but they're running to the injectors, running to the sensors. There's relays that run this ECU that's mounted right here, and then these wires will all be tucked up, of course. And then there's a breaker that goes down, and this is that single wire alternator off of a 6-gauge wire. And that all hooks to this battery. And then, of course, this is your starter solenoid wires. I won't probably only need one. It gives you 3 because, again, they're thinking you're running a voltage regulator. And then these are wires that go to the inverter, because I'll run 110 so they can charge laptops, lights, charge things, run things, and it has USB on it and stuff. That's the fuel pressure regulator. I got to run a hose to that still. And then I've got to do some mounts for the radiators, so hold the radiator so I can put it in there. And then that'll be in place. I got a little plug for the water pump because I won't use heater in this thing or AC. But yeah, it's getting closer. So all the subsystems and systems are becoming wired in now. This is that under-seat storage box mounted that's lockable. So I think I'd showed that before. And of course, a little better shot of the dash with the steering and the phone and all that in place. This will also run maps, and it'll run Bluetooth, it'll run sound. I think I'd said that before, and it runs 4 different cameras. And then over there I have, I can use one of them as a horn button, then there's USB and Type-C, and then a cargo light switch. And I'll have lights probably under here all along. I'll probably have lights in the box, and then when I flip a switch, I'll probably have a box light and a dash light set up, so when I flip a switch I can light up the back or light up the front. And then I still got the wiper motors to install. They're in those 2 boxes right there, and they'll be independent wiper motors. I got a little Ford lettering thing, it's kind of cool I'm installing, and then the cameras. But yeah, so it's getting there. Just wanted to give you a quick update just to show the progress. The wiring is a bit tedious. It's not bad, it's just separating things out. Really, I bought this painless harness, and I probably could have just built my own, because I ended up, with time I spent building this mount and cutting it out and then building this piece for this to go up into and sit there and all that stuff. I would have just needed probably I think that harness was $800, and I probably would have just spent a couple $100 on wiring, different color-coded wiring, probably just red, green, blue, yellow, and brown, and maybe black. I got a little bit of black, some orange, just to throw it in there. I probably could have bought a whole wire spool set and just made my own wiring, and then I had a bunch of wiring left for probably $200 or $300. So I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, it's coming together. It's getting set up. Won't be long. It'll be drivable. I've still got a few, there's a lot of little tweaking things that you have to double check. Your steering linkages, the biggest thing that you want to really make sure is good is the electrical. So I'm going to spend some time on that. The body's mounted on there properly now. The steering, got the fuel system that only needs one little hose left for it'll be a complete sealed system. And then I have to put gas in the tank, and then I'm going to build out with these wires here. I'll have to interface these and put them on a relay here for the fuel switch. When I turn on the key, the fuel pump will come on, or I can have the ECU over there excite the fuel pump, either way. And then also I'll have a cooling fan, a trail fan that I put in front of my radiators to run when you're going slow on the trails, because they don't run very many RPM sometimes. This thing being a stick in first gear low, probably spin the engine pretty good, so it might keep it cool. But that automatic tends to idle around on the trails on the 74, so I run a fan on it. I'll probably throw one on this just in case. But again, one thing's kind of cool with this is I don't need a transmission cooler because it's a manual, so that's kind of neat. But yeah, but anyways, you guys, this is where we're at with this little beast. Working on it, slow but sure, just in the evenings. But I am working till 9, 10 o'clock at night. And this will be the point here that's one of the more tedious, and that's wiring. It always is. You have to be very patient. You have to be methodical so you can get it to look right and organize right and fit up in there where it's supposed to be. The 2 things, I got to relocate my wiper switch because this 66 is here and the wire isn't long enough. It's there. It's hanging right there. And I'll have to bring it over. It's supposed to be like up in this area here, but it ain't going to be there. And so that's about it. But everything else kind of worked on that thing. And the TV thing or the screen is going to be cool. It's a touch screen, and that'll be fun. That'll be neat. I don't know if I'm going to put the side cameras on it or not. On these taller vehicles, it might be cool. I think I'd said before to maybe put those cameras right in this area here and then have them shine back, and especially with these little mirrors, because these are off a motorcycle that I scabbed on here for the trail doors. So when they're closed, you got a rear view mirror and it's on the trail doors. And in theory, if you take those doors off, which I sometimes do, you don't have any mirrors. So a little camera right here might be kind of cool I don't think I'd knock it off. I don't think I'd knock it off. I put these little, after I put this big thing on, I had to had to redo these screws, and so I went ahead and just did them through all the fender and steel to help hold this rock slider, but it ain't going nowhere. It's got screws behind it and bolts all the way through it. That's just to keep from crushing the rocker panel. I don't have that on the 74. I might add it, but I don't know, because short wheelbase, it's hard to get stuff up in there, but you can tweak it. I'm more worried about it hitting the drive shaft and things like that. Still got to move the muffler a little bit more. But yeah, so here's the progress on it. Getting close. That radiator up there will go in here, and then that will complete the subsystems: brakes, water, fuel, electric, and steering. Each thing, you got to look at things as independent systems. That will complete the connecting of the system part, and then it's just going to be make sure it doesn't leak and it doesn't break and it's routed properly, things like that. You know, the normal stuff when you're building something. So yeah, we're still in build mode on this beast, and I'm trying to trying to thrash on it pretty fast and furiously to get it done, because I want to get on the old pickup, which will be a different style of build, and that will be a more complex build because of the paint. All right, you guys, see you later. Bye.